Welcome to another episode of Ask Cindy Connector Live. Well, hello. This is Cindy, your host, over at Ask Cindy Connector Live. So I just wanted to wish everybody a happy 2022. And I'm so honored today to have Mr. Casey Eberhart back on the show. In just 1 minute, I'll introduce him. And he's actually my very first guest of the year. So I'm super stoked about that. And as always, make sure that you subscribe. You're going to hit that bell icon over on YouTube. Actually, if you comment and you subscribe and you share this very video either on LinkedIn or Facebook, I'll gift you a 5-night stay. So make sure that you go to 3nightgiveaway.com. So what is Ask Cindy Connector Live all about? It's about spreading the word about your business or about your event, and also to monetize this amazing podcast. I now run a podcast mastery. I also have a mini YouTube class. So if you are new to YouTube and you could barely turn on that computer, I could actually help you with that as well. It's so important to get in front of video and step outside of that fear zone. If you go to National Day Calendar and you buy that calendar or any kind of swag, 20% off, just type in Cindy Lee, all caps. And of course, the 22nd is Casey and I's favorite brownie day. It is National Lawn Brownie Day. Casey, welcome back to the show.
Awesome, Cindy. It's great to be back. Thanks so much for having me.
Well, you're an international speaker. You're a lead generation expert. You're the founder of Expand the Business and, of course, founder of Networking Riches. Welcome back.
So often, Cindy, I find that people will say, oh, I want what she has, or I want what he has. But what they're not honest with is they're not willing to do what that person did to get there. They're just looking for the magic bullet. And there might be a magic bullet, but if you don't ask, you don't figure it out, and you don't try it, it's a waste, right? So at the end of the day, Networking Riches is very simple. It's an event that I want you to think of. The door to the biggest opportunity of your lifetime is in front of you. And that door has a padlock on it, right? At the end of the day, all this event is going to do is going to give you the key that puts in the lock and goes, tick, and the door's unlocked. That's it. But how valuable is that to you? I make the argument it's invaluable long-term. And a lot of people are going to try to figure out how to blast the door open, just yank on that door really hard. They're going to try to think it open. They're going to try to warm it up with their hands. And at the end of the day, it's just a little tiny key and a really little twist.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I've been networking since my mid-20s. I'm now 56 years old, so right around 30 years. And one of the things I learned, I think I was maybe around 30, is that know, like, trust, and remember. So I'm adding an R to that. I think it's so important to be remembered. What do you want to say about being remembered?
I don't think anybody cares if you're not remembered. I mean, at the end of the day, that's really it. If you know, like, and trust somebody, but you don't remember them at the time that a referral or a recommendation comes into question or it comes into play, it doesn't really matter. It's one of the reasons why for our mastermind clients, we have processes and systems in place for them to reach out to those people on their KLT list. If they don't reach out to those top 100 people, you can't get upset when somebody you know refers your competitor or refers someone else, or doesn't know, or doesn't remember, or doesn't forget, or forgets. It's only up to you and I to take complete responsibility for building, growing, strengthening, and nurturing that network. And there are people that are willing to do the work for that, and there are people that aren't. And there's room for both. I just make the argument that a lot of doors can open a lot easier if you understand how to grow the network.
And I just, again, I have to just be grateful and tell you again how, I'm going to do a plug for Mailbox Power. And because of Mailbox Power, I've become more successful with this podcast and, also the businesses that I do. And a lot of people have said, wow, no one's ever followed up with me. No one has ever sent a half birthday card. No one has ever sent an anniversary gift of my business. So that I just will never forget you connecting with me and saying, hey, Cindy, this is something you need. And I know you're good at follow-up. This is something that's going to help even better with that. And a lot of my clients still have their cards and still have their gifts and still have their mugs. And so that's the remembered part of what we do.
Absolutely. And the more we become valuable to our network, the more valuable the network becomes to us.
Exactly.
And so the real question for all of us to ask is, what are we doing today, not tomorrow, not the next day, not in 3 months from now? What are we doing today to build and strengthen that network? And by the way, that network can also include current customers, past customers, prospects. I mean, they may not make your top 100, but at the end of the day, they're still potentially part of your network, right? I'm fortunate that I'm speaking at an event literally this afternoon where we're going to be talking about those 3 buckets of customers, but they're all 3 different networks of people at the same time. And that interconnectability is so vitally important to growing a business.
Wow. You always bring the nuggets, my friend. I'm just so grateful. I cannot wait to be there on the 22nd. So really quick, closing, tell everybody again what it's about and why they need to be there.
The why is very simple. Show up if you want to make more money and you want to save time. If you don't want to save time and you don't want to make more money, it's probably not a great event for you, right? If you understand the power of networking and the power of growing and building and nurturing and strengthening a network, we're going to take that and we're going to amplify it. I mean, the event is literally called Networking Riches 2.0, networking your way to your next 6 figures. So we'd love to have you show up. It's the 22nd, 23rd. It's going to go from 8 to 2 Pacific on both days. We're going to have hot seats. We're going to do some masterminding. We're going to talk about value of customers, where to find them, where you're hanging out, what to do, follow up, all of that. We're going to walk away with an actual plan and a system and a process to help you grow your business, make more money, and save time while doing it, and have a blast.
Definitely. And it's definitely worth spending 2 days out of your week. It's only a few hours. It's 8 to 2. It's definitely worth it, guys. If you want to grow your business in 2022, this is the event to be at. And the best part of my show, shout outs, and then we'll close out. What's your shout outs for today?
My shout out?
Mm-hmm.
And who am I shouting out?
Whoever you want to shout out. You could shout out to business partners, anybody that you met through Networking Riches, Expand the Business. You could do a plug for Expand the Business as well.
Yeah, I mean, my list we would go on and on and on. So Cindy, what I'll do is I'll give you a shout out. Thank you so much for doing a show like this, having people on, giving them the platform and the opportunity to connect with you and the people in your network. That's hugely valuable. And so I really appreciate it. I also run a Facebook group called Expand the Business. And I want to give a shout out to the over 3,000 business owners that are part of that community, that group, that family. It's a brain trust. It is a no spam zone. But the value that people bring and get out of that group is incredible to watch. And so a huge shout out to the entire Expand the Business community. And finally, I'll give a shout out to my one of my business partners, Bajal, who is an amazing individual, has helped us grow our business massively. And he runs a virtual assistant firm. So if you need help just getting some of those tasks that you really hate doing off your plate, you can hit up myself. I can introduce you to Bajal, but he'd be a great person to help you take what we're going to teach you at Networking Riches and actually implement it.
You actually just read my mind. I was just going to plug him because he's coming on my show because I'm getting so overwhelmed with all the follow-up I have to do and all the referrals. It's just, I'm actually going to be hiring some of his staff to do some of my follow-up because that's super important to do that. So we're going to end the call here. And guys, make sure that you head out to Networking Riches. Anything else you want to add before we close out?
I'm good. I hope to see you guys all at Networking Riches. We're going to have a blast together. And I know that Cindy put the link in the comments, but come and join us.